Oh, welcome back to session 3. My goodness, how we've missed you all. Young folks, old folks, everybody come. Join Vacation Bible School and have a lot of fun. Please park your chewing gum and cell phones at the door. And we'll tell you Bible stories like you never heard before. Oh my goodness, this is night number 3 and this is our final session. So I hope you had a great time because story time is my mostest, favoriteest part of Vacation Bible School. So I have had a great time with you. I hope you've had a great time as well. I hope you had a great time with Vacation Bible School, period, with everything. Next time you're at church, tell Bronwyn the thing that you needed most was snow cones, because that's what we're missing right here. It's snow cones at this thing. So here we go. Okay, story for session number 3 goes, once upon a time, there was this guy, except this time, there wasn't just one guy, there were 2 guys. 2 guys. Jesus always taught, let's just name them. It really doesn't name them in the Bible, but I think you got to have names for people so you can keep them straight. There's Leroy and Davis. I don't know how I ended up with those names. They just kind of stuck in my head. So these are 2 guys, Leroy and Davis. Jesus teaches us with parables. And parables are stories that Jesus told, just regular stories that have a spiritual twist to them. And so his story starts off talking about, who do we call them? Leroy and Davis. Leroy and Davis were construction guys. And isn't it interesting that on session number 3, we finally start talking about construction business. They were in the construction business, and actually they were home builders. And so they probably built a house, just maybe, well, probably not at all like the one you live in, because yours has running water and HVAC, heating and air conditioning. I don't know that they had them back then. But these 2 guys, they were good friends. They probably lived right across, they probably worked right across the street from each other. And so one time, Leroy and Davis said, you know what? We need to build ourselves houses. Now, why don't you just go, let's go out and look. We'll survey the countryside and we'll see where it would be best for each of us to build our houses. And so Leroy goes out and he looks around, and all of a sudden he finds one kind of on a lake. And he's going, oh my goodness gracious, I could build my house right here on the beach, look over the water. I could sit out on the porch at night. I could fish right off the back deck. This could be great. And so he proceeds to build him a house. And it must have been a 2-story house. It must have been a doozy. But he built it right there, and he built it in the sand. And it was just, it was a beautiful house. No doubt about it. It was a beautiful house. But did I tell you that it was built on the sand? And what that means, it just didn't really have a firm place to build it on. Well, all of a sudden this storm blows in, and the winds and the rain and the water comes up and the thing floods, and the next thing you know, old Leroy's house has just kind of washed away, and it's not there anymore. He spent all that time and all that money and all that effort building him a beautiful house that didn't last very long because it just didn't have anything to sit on. Well, about that same time, just I say, as Leroy and Davis had gone out, Davis goes, he takes a left and ends up down by the lake. Well, Davis realized that he doesn't want his house down by the water. And so he goes up and he builds his house up on top of a hill. Now this hill is made, it's a rock. It is a big old rock. And I mean, he has to put piers and beams, and he has to drill holes into this rock. And when he builds his lovely little house, it is built on the rock. It is built strong. It is sturdy. That same little flood that kind of comes through there, the storm that comes through where the rain and the wind, could have even been a tornado for all we know, and the flood, well, he's up above that. So Davis, his house never ever is affected by any of that. He gets the rain, he gets the wind, but he doesn't get the flood. And all of a sudden, when that storm passes, all of a sudden Davis walks out his front door and looks out, and he surveys all that he sees on his acreage and goes, good house, huh? Good house. And he just kind of looks back over to his left, and he can see where Leroy has built his house back down there. And what has happened to Leroy's house? It's gone. Oh my goodness, it's gone. And Davis probably thinks to himself, oh my goodness, I am so glad that I built my house here as opposed to down there. All of Jesus' parables, there was just kind of like, and the moral to the story is, and the moral of this story is, when you build your house, always build it on a good solid foundation. Probably the most important part of building a house is making sure it's got a good, solid, firm foundation. Because if you build it on sand, sand is too wishy-washy. So Leroy's house down there never stood a chance. Davis's house up here was never in danger of anything. So we're talking about building houses. We're really not talking about building houses. Jesus wasn't talking about building houses. Jesus was talking about building your life. Building your life. So if you build your life on a wishy-washy foundation that's not going to stand up to wind and rain and floods, it's not going to stand up to any, remember persecution, we talked about that in session 1, and just when troubles of this life come along, you don't have a chance. But if you build your life on a real solid, firm foundation, we're in Vacation Bible School, we're in a Southern Baptist Convention church, we're in First Baptist Church, College Station, Texas. So when we talk about building your life on a firm foundation, I don't know, who do you think we're talking about building that on? If you said Jesus Christ, you are absolutely right. Give yourself a high five right there. Pat yourself on the back. Jesus calls us to build our lives on Him. I mean, it's very simple. Not on something else, not on fads, not on something that's here today and gone tomorrow, but on something, someone everlasting, somebody who's going to be with us always. Remember, we talked about that in session 2. Jesus said, I will be with you always. Build your life around me. Make me the center point. Make me the focus of your life. And good things will always, always happen for you. It's that simple. Love Jesus, love others. There we go. So, I hope you've had a great time in storytelling. I've had a great time in storytelling. So, sing it with me one more time. Young folks, old folks, everybody come. Join Vacation Bible School and have a lot of fun. Please park your chewing gum and cell phones at the door. I will tell you Bible stories like you've never heard before. I hope you have a great time with the rest of Bible School. Enjoy it. We'll see you soon. Everybody wave.